Hello everybody, my name is Cody, and just wanted to start off this presentation by bringing you back in time a year from now, or a year ago around this time. We met for the very first time to discuss our capstone presentation, or our capstone projects. I was unaware at the time that there was a difference between the thesis paper and an internship project. And a year ago today, I didn't really pay any attention to the internship aspect of it, because the thesis has kind of always been, to me at least, the sort of rite of passage for history students. I'm someone who's always prided myself on my writing ability, so I didn't really think anything about it when the internships option was presented to me. Fast forward 7 to 8 months later, I had a lot of hurdles that were in the way, and it was time for me to kind of change my perspective about this project. Fortunately, I was able to meet with Professor Jensen, who had remembered that earlier in the term I had mentioned that I was interested in conducting interviews. She remembered that the City of Monmouth Historic Committee, headed by Amy Jaramillo, was putting on what's called a Listen to a Legacy project, which essentially is looking to create community or spread history, spread the knowledge of Monmouth history through interviews with the community and students. Last year was the first year of the project, and they happened to interview with members of Central High School and from the Senior Center here. So this being, I was the second year of this project, and just going to talk a little bit about the mission of the Historic Committee. The Monmouth Historic Committee is committed to facilitating research and programming to provide context to our locally diverse history and support a more equitable and culturally informed community through shared learning and dialogue. So the City of Monmouth is responsible for designating oversight and developing policy around historically relevant places like the Southwest Heights neighborhood, you see right here, and also just engaging the community in education initiatives and history in general. So one way to do that is through community projects like Listen to a Legacy. So my introduction to the City of Monmouth Historic Committee began with their monthly Historic Committee meetings at City Hall. During this meeting, we discussed what would be known as their May 10th Historic Preservation Month event, and that highlighted the Southwest Heights neighborhood that's located right there. And what they do is they basically go around and they do research on the area, and they are dating all the old houses that are there and things like that. So during that meeting, I was able to not only get a good sense of what the project was looking for, but also just how the ins and outs of local history works. During that meeting, we also got a general theme for our interviews, which was the 60s, 70s, and 80s. I then went on to look through the old City of Monmouth newspapers, or excuse me, the Oregon College of Education newspapers back in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. And I found a lot of good articles and newspaper ads, things like that in there. What you see right here, pedestrians main closure in sight. This person right here is actually riding a tricycle, so don't get too scared. If any of you have driven down Monmouth Avenue today and noticed all the speed bumps and the recent construction, that is thanks in part to those students and the efforts that they put in to get that area closed on campus. And in my personal opinion, I think that it is a much more inviting area of campus nowadays, especially since cars aren't flying 40 miles an hour down the road anymore. After that, me and Amy were able to meet with a Monmouth local, Phyllis Bowman. Phyllis provided us with an entire collection of old pictures she provided us a collection of pictures of the old businesses from downtown Monmouth. She helped us kind of spread those out on a table and demonstrate where places used to be relevant to Main Street. So with all that information that she gave us, I was able to take that and create an Excel sheet and recreate Main Street from during that period. So I basically, on Excel, I wrote Main Street down the line and then all the dividing streets along the way, and essentially just went through all the photos that we had and all the notes and placed all the old businesses into their respective locations. After that, I had the opportunity to familiarize myself with the scanning software, which the picture is no longer there. But the flatbed scanner, I was able to create a photo collection for the city and the school. And then after that, it was a bit of just about finding potential interviewees. Amy and I met together at the Sippery here in town, and we were able to call about a half a dozen potential interviewees. Of those half a dozen, two of them, Rose Hernandez and Paul Siever, agreed to interview with us. Now, it still took me about a week and a half to kind of facilitate a date and a time and a place for us to all meet at, but we were able to meet at the end of, oh man, I'm getting all the months mixed up. I think it was the end of April? Yeah. So we were able to meet then, and it was a really good experience. At some points, I think that the interview kind of got off course a little bit. Just, some of our older generation, they like to compare things to the present day a lot. So I think that there were a lot of moments where we weren't necessarily discussing the 60s, 70s, and 80s, and more discussing how things are now compared to then, rather than just discussing that time period. But aside from that, we were able to use our resources that we collected, such as our photo or our map of Main Street that is visual right there. And then we also laid out all the old pictures corresponding to where they used to be. And it really just helped ground the conversation and just bring them back to that time and help them contextualize everything, especially to, there's just so much change that's happened over time that it's hard to search back in those memories without some sort of visual representation of what it used to look like. So after the interview was over, I was able to transcribe the interview. I recorded it using a handheld recorder that's similar to that one. In total, I did one full transcript, which is about 40 pages long. I edited it once myself, and then Professor Jensen helped me edit it as well. All told, that took me probably around 20 hours or so to fully complete. So it was a very long and tedious process, but very rewarding, because there's sometimes when you're interviewing people or you're talking to people and you don't quite understand the full context of what they're saying. There could be a reference to some vague event that happened 25 years ago that you don't know about. And then so when you're transcribing these interviews and you're looking back at what they were actually saying, it gives you the opportunity to look up that event right then and there and just really add so much context and nuance to the whole conversation. And then just at the top right there, that is what's known as the start-stop software. Essentially, it's a foot pedal that you use to start and stop the audio devices, and then you write in between. So it's that's just a nice little visual representation of what that looks like. So the next step of this project was essentially just to, communicate with the community and present my findings. The first opportunity I had to do that was at the May 10th Historic Committee event, or the Historic Preservation Month event at City Hall, where they discussed the Southwest Heights neighborhood. So during that event, I got the opportunity to just sit down, listen to presentations, and then also, present my own findings to the community and listen to different stories and just discuss more with the public. I got another opportunity to do something similar. I met with a group of seniors during their luncheon at the Monmouth Senior Center. I was able to present my findings there, as you see in the middle picture. And so during that, it's essentially more of the same, just community engagement, talking with the public, and just expanding my own knowledge on the city. And then the last opportunity I had to do was take all those photos from Phyllis and just walk around Main Street and just re-photograph all the old locations to kind of demonstrate the change over time. And after that, I put together this nice little video that hopefully I can play. I don't know how to. Oh, there we go. Sorry, the audio cuts out for the last 10 seconds there. Yeah, so for me, this was just a very unique project. It was one that was not necessarily as structured as some of the other ones were. It was a very fluid project. I had a lot of flexibility. I had a lot of agency in this project. So for me, it was just a really great introduction to hands-on public history, journalism, and interviewing, which I'm very interested in pursuing in my future. Also just, working on public engagement skills and communicating with people. You just learn so much about a community when you're actually on the ground talking to the people who live there. On top of that, technical experience, learning how to use the scanner, learning how to use start-stop software, improving my research skills and my communication skills. And overall during this project, I feel like I had a good sense of how to be ethically aware while reporting and talking with people. I think that is a very important step of being a historian, is having empathy and being ethical in your questions and in your papers. This project was not only just good for me and growing my own experience, but it was also very important for the city. This is hopefully going to lay a foundation for future projects. I would really love to see a senior next year collaborate with the city of Monmouth and have a similar opportunity that I was presented. This educational collaboration between the community and the city and the schools is just very important to creating strong roots within your community. Without this kind of discourse, I think that we all become very short-sighted and closed off from others around us. So this is why these projects are, all the most important. And also just for, building community memory and filling those historical gaps that not a lot of people know about. For me, I'm not from Monmouth, so there was a lot of things that I didn't know when I started this project, like the fact that Monmouth used to be a dry town until the early 2000s. That was a very interesting fact that I wouldn't have ever thought to look into myself. Also about the differences between Monmouth and Independence, the mill town versus the college town. It's a very unique dynamic that you witness here, and when you're actually talking to the people who have grown up here and experienced it, it just makes it a lot more insightful. And I really hope that these sorts of projects can continue to develop in the future, because it really does help just put history in action and allows us as historians, especially at the academic level, who have spent a lot of time just reading primary sources, secondary sources, and writing papers, to really put our skills to use in the public setting. So I want to thank everybody for coming and listening to me today.